So welcome back to the channel. It is 90 degrees outside and currently we are hooked up to 15 amp at our family's house here in Indiana. And it's hot outside. Let's go check the system here. We have this in command system. I want to show you guys what the temperatures are. I can't show you my passcode because yeah. And so up front is showing 89 and then out back is showing 88. Now it might sound like it's really hot in here, but truth be told guys, inside of an RV that temperature is not as hot as it may seem. If this is a house, it'd probably be like 78 degrees, and that's what it feels like in here. But nevertheless, I have this fan, which is kind of worthless, and then we have our roof vents on, and then we have just two of these smaller, they're called tornadoes. If you have an RV, these are the best. They're small, compact, and they put out a ton of air. I have one in the bedroom, and then of course in our bathroom we have this fan. I did a video on this one. I did replace what was in here. I'll put that video in the description. This fan is definitely worth having if you plan on doing some traveling, but that's not what this is about. Well, I mean, this is kind of like a vlog, more or less. But by the way, we just redid my son's room again. We remodeled our entire RV, but we added some storage under his bed. And yeah, we've actually remodeled our entire RV, and we're going to be doing some update videos on how well it held up. So stay tuned for that. But let's go outside real quickly. Gotta catch my breath. I'm doing a ton of projects with the RV, ton. Here's one of them real quickly, and then we'll get into video, I promise. Won't take too long. We have been purging, like literally purging. Like I have like taken everything out of our RV in the basement area and have been going through it. And so far, little by little, I've been putting stuff in here that I'm going to keep. And so far, this is all I'm keeping. But I still got a lot more stuff to go through. But I did do something a little different up front. As you guys can see, I started to hang all of our water hoses and power cords just to kind of give me more space inside of the side basement area here. But I will show you guys, if you want to see more videos on this stuff, I'll be more than happy to show it to you. I don't really like to do videos on this because half the time I don't know what I'm doing. And if you do travel full time, you will learn that you're going to need this kind of storage too. Now, I personally bought this for my generator, but this thing's heavy. I'm going to be honest with you, very heavy. And there's no way I'm going to lift this every time I need to use it out of that bag. But this is the generator. I did do a video on it before this one. Go back and watch it. And let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff I purchased to use for my RV. Now, if you want to run your generator with your fifth wheel travel trailer with 50 amp, here's all you need. I bought this little guy here. This is a 30 amp male with a 50 amp locking. So this is going to plug into my RV, and this side here is going to connect to this 10-foot extension power cord, and then this is going to plug into my generator. It sounds probably confusing if you're new to this, but I promise you once I open everything up and connect it, you will understand it better. Now, here's why I chose these two parts. Number one, if you've owned an RV with 50 amp, you know that the 50 amp plugs, or not plugs, excuse me, extension cords are super heavy. There it is. Do you see how thick that thing is?
That's what she said.
So instead of me using this every time I want to use my generator, I can just use the one I just had in my hand. This is 25 feet long, I believe, because it came with my RV, so I don't 100% know how long it is, but that's typically what they probably give you, 25 foot. And this is my 50 amp to 30 amp, so I would have to use that big cord plus this to make my generator work. I don't want to do that. So as I mentioned, that's why I have these two cords right here, because these are going to make life a lot easier, especially if you're just doing quick trips. Like we're planning on traveling out west, and if we don't want to stay at a campground, I could pull my generator out of the truck or wherever I have it stored. I can just plug this 10-foot extension and this in, and I'm done, versus having to pull out a lot heavier stuff. So let's go ahead and pull the generator out so you guys can see it a little bit better. I'm going to plug everything in, and I'll show you guys step by step what I'm doing. So let's get to it. So here's a better look at the 50 amp to 30 amp. So So this is going to plug right into my 50 amp twist style outlet. Alrighty, so let me go ahead and do that. It's kind of hard to do this and hold the camera.
That's what she said.
So I'll just show you a quick after. So once you plug it in, there are two little like slits on the plug. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then all you have to do is just kind of twist it a little bit. You don't put too much force on it. You can lock it in with this little thing that spins around. You can kind of see right there. It helps to keep it nice and secure, just like so. That's good right there. And then all I have to do now is pull out this plug. Alright, so you will need to cut this off. And like I said, we'll go ahead and plug this in. But let me just show you guys again, just a real quick comparison of the 50 amp to this one so you have a better understanding of how big it is. It may not do any justice, but and look how much thicker that 50 amp plug is. Huge. Huge.
That's what she said.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get everything plugged in. So as I mentioned, this side of the plug is going to plug into the generator. Just like that. Super easy. And then last but not least, I just have to plug this one into the back of the 50 to 30 that you just saw me plug into the RV. And just like that, they are connected. Actually, I have to do it with two hands, but I wanted to at least show it to you before I did it. But so easy, guys. I mean, this is all you have to do. So whenever I stop for the night and I want to turn the ACs on or just run some power for the kids to watch TV or something like that, this is all I have to do. It would take me probably maybe 10 minutes. Pull the generator down, pull the power plugs out, and connect them and have power. Now, I couldn't kill the breaker for some reason on the house. So I just, you know, in order to protect my RV, I just turned everything off. Really all you have to do, this is the main power right here. But, you know, just to be safe, I want to make sure I didn't damage anything inside of the RV. Actually, this can always stay down because I don't have a washer and dryer set up yet. But let's go ahead, turn this on. Actually, you know what? Let's keep it off. We'll keep it off. Let's turn the generator on first. Let it run for about a minute or so. Let the oil run through it, and then we'll put a load on it. Alrighty, right there. And fuel line's already on. So 0 kilowatts right now, okay? So there's no power going to it. So let's go ahead and let's turn on the power to the RV. So once I do this, now the RV is being powered by the generator. I want to tell you this too. This is my first time actually ever doing this too. So what you're seeing in this video is actually my first time. So right now, 0.76 kilowatts, 0.79. Everything looks good. If you're just running like a few things inside the RV, you can't put it on eco mode. But we're gonna leave it off for now. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn all the fans on inside the RV. I'm going to turn on this one. Alrighty. I'm going to turn the one on my sunroom. And I'm going to turn the one on in our bedroom. Now most things inside of an RV are going to run off a 12 volt, like all the ceiling fans that you see, vent fans, whatever you want to call these are all running off of the 12 volt battery supply, which is in my basement. I have two batteries basically, they're like car style, and that's what's basically running those fans. So even when I turn the 50 amp power supply off, those things on the roof kept running. Alright, so let's go back to the generator. Let's see how much more kilowatts. So not much actually. I mean, we're still not even showing up on here yet. Alrighty, so here's the moment of truth. Let's do it. So it's sitting at 0.83. It hasn't moved at all. I don't know if you guys can see it, but 0.83 is where it's at right now. I'll call it out for you. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you this. HVAC. So we're going to turn the rear AC on. This is a 15K. So that's going to be on AC at 70 degrees. There it is. It's at 25% capacity. 1.26. Oh, it just dropped down a little bit. 1.08. 1.06. There it is. Alright, 2.26. That's the AC unit right there. So we're actually at 50% capacity on the generator. Got a little bit louder. But it's running the AC unit right now at 2.24, 2.26. Dropping a little bit to 2.23. Alrighty. So my 15K AC unit is on. So here's the test. Technically on 30 amp power supply, I'm not really supposed to run 2 AC units, but because of testing purposes, I'm going to run this one too for you guys, just to see the capacity. Now, my hope is maybe I can turn off maybe 1 or 2 of the fans. I've already turned off the vent fan in the kitchen, and I'm going to turn. Oh, again, this stuff is all ran off of the 12-volt power supply, but we're going to lower some of the power inside the RV because I want to really get a good feel for it. So I turned that fan down a little bit. Let's go back to the generator to see how many kilowatts we're using right now. So we're still sitting at 50% capacity at 2.43 kilowatts. And let's go ahead and let's turn on the front AC unit. We'll turn this on low fan. Alrighty, so that's 2 AC units at 75%. 2.71, 2.70 kilowatts. Oh, there it is. That's almost overload. There it is. So to no one's surprise, we overloaded the generator. And that's because this is only a 30 amp power supply. If you want to run 2 AC units, you're going to have to run at least 6,500 watt generators to get that kind of peak power, because something like this isn't going to be able to keep up with that. But nevertheless, if you don't want to buy a generator that big, you could buy a second one. I think all you need is what, 2,000 or 2,500 watts, and then run it in parallel here. It's pretty easy. And then they give you a 50 amp power supply that you can plug in your 50 amp and not have to use this. Still, I completely forgot. I was supposed to show you guys a test in this video with the microwave and with the AC unit, because someone in the comment section said that I wouldn't be able to. Now, I did do the test, and if you trust my word, you can run a 15K AC unit with your microwave with a television on, and it'll be at 100% capacity, but it will not overload. Now, you're probably wondering, why don't you just do the test real quickly? Well, I could, but if I do, you'll see that I've done something extra to my RV, because now I haven't done this test. I probably can run both my AC units with my microwave at the same time. But what do you guys think I did? Did I buy a second generator? Or what else did I do in my RV? I don't know. You guys stay tuned to find out. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Sorry I was like all over the place. I was really excited that day because I haven't had a chance to use a generator. And so I was just excited. And that was the first time, once I took it out of the box, that I used it, because that was the hottest day that we had. So I haven't used it since then because we've been hooked up to 15 amp. But yeah, I'm really excited. The Westinghouse generator is great. Got an oil change video coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And then you'll be able to see how much metal shavings was in the oil, which again, we'll see. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this generator is going to do. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys soon.